Okay, this is practice. Practice part 2. For this PowerPoint presentation, I will talk about celebrating diversity. I will review the entire UF200 course, and I will provide the week's reflection question. From the article on this slide, what exactly is culture? There are literally hundreds of definitions. The simplest one is that culture is the way things are done around here. Another definition, however, is offered by social psychologist Geert Hofstede, who refers to culture as the software of the mind, a kind of collective programming that distinguishes one group of people from another. So how is diversity valuable for business? The more people you have working on an idea who have diverse points of view, the more likely you are to have a successful product. In what way can cultural diversity help a society? Do you think understanding and celebrating diversity is more important today than it has been in the past? Think about where you find diversity in your own life. Is that at school, at work, where else? The key to understanding the positive influence of diversity is the concept of informational diversity. When people are brought together to solve problems in groups, they bring different information, opinions, and perspectives. This makes obvious sense when we talk about diversity of disciplinary backgrounds. Think of an interdisciplinary team building something that we are going to use. The same logic applies to social diversity. People who are different from one another in race, gender, and other dimensions bring unique information and experiences to bear on the task at hand. A male and female engineer might have perspectives as different from one another as an engineer and a physicist, and that is a good thing. In the context of affirmative action, how can we create a diverse workplace without running the risk of treating minorities, gender or racial, etc., differently? What do you think future generations will condemn us for in terms of discrimination and oppression of human rights? From teaching this course, I have confirmed my belief that different points of view are not only acceptable, but they teach me about who I am, because I can strengthen or discard my point of view through discussions with diverse people. My own particular interests that include diversity are music and art. Long ago, I learned that just because something I see is different, it can still be beautiful. In college, studying non-Western music and modern composers, I learned again that different and new can also be beautiful. Diversity exists everywhere. It gives us a choice of food, of clothing, of schools, of houses, of places to live and visit, of transportation and pets. At least that's true in the United States. Here we are exposed to music, art, languages, ideas, and ideals, all of them different. Diversity is worth celebrating because it gives us choices. When we have the power to choose, we are privileged. So UF200, what is it? The University Learning Outcome number 1, writing effectively in multiple contexts for a variety of audience. University Learning Outcome number 5, analyze ethical issues in personal, professional, and civic life and produce reasoned evaluations of competing value systems and ethical claims. University Learning Outcome 6, apply knowledge of cultural differences to matters of international, local, national, regional importance, including political, economic, and environmental issues. We attempted to do this by studying various types of human rights violations throughout this semester. We studied 15 topics during this semester and participated in 15 discussion boards about those topics. You wrote 2 reflection papers, one about your personal culture of safety and one about personal ethical decision making. You participated in a civic engagement experience and provided a reflection about that experience. You answered questions for 15 quizzes and participated in group activities. You overcame the difficulties of completing an online course and communicated with your instructor, that's me, via email and in person. You learned more about using the library and more about using technologies to complete assignments. You asked and answered some tough questions about the course topics, and you wrote a research paper about a global ethical issue. From reading your papers and discussion boards and reflections, it is clear that many of you were surprised by portions of the topic studied. Many of you appeared grateful to hear another person's point of view. You learned about stakeholders and how everyone in every organization or institution has their own perspective. The politics of a stakeholder play a part in how they perceive the world and make decisions. You looked at religious stakeholders. From your reading, it may appear that religion plays a part in claiming territory and land, as it plays a part in defining a particular point of view about the world and the role of that religious group in the world. The stakeholder's country of origin and the accepted beliefs within their group will play a part in how they view particular customs as appropriate or unacceptable. It is okay not to take on my point of view. This class had a lot of material and much of it was difficult. No matter how an instructor tries, there will always be some bias in what is presented. I would hope that each of you learned something and were impacted by what you learned. You may have learned that your perspective is based on who you are culturally, politically, religiously, economically, and that your perspective can be changed based on facts and research that you do on your own. It is not my place to tell you how to be or what to believe. However, I think a good opinion is based in fact. So do the research. Get to know someone who holds different beliefs. And thanks for participating in this UF 200 class. Here is the reflection for week 5. How will this course be helpful to you in the future? Thanks for